Paṭācārā, the woman who lost everything and found the truth. Women of the Buddha's Era, Episode 5. One who lives 100 years without seeing the arising and passing of things. Better is a single day's life of one who sees the arising and passing of things. Dhammapada, verse 11-13. Part 1. The Girl in the Tower. In the great city of Sāvatthī, seat of kings, crossroads of merchants, a wealthy man kept his only daughter behind walls of silk and stone. She was beautiful in beauty. Her father believed was a thing that needed guarding. She lived in a high palace, attendants at every turn, flowers changed fresh each morning, every comfort that money could arrange. But the windows looked out onto a world she was never allowed to enter. Her name was Paṭācārā. And like every creature kept behind beautiful walls, she grew restless in a way she could not name. Among the servants who moved through the household, there was one man. His name was Singhanet, who had neither wealth nor standing, but something rarer, a quality of presence that could not be bought, intelligence in the eyes, steadiness, a voice that spoke without pretense. She noticed him long before she said a word to him. And then one day, she did. The forest and the free life. It was not a decision she thought through carefully. It was a decision she made with her whole body and then reasoned about afterward. She left the palace in the dark, no ceremony, no announcement, and went with him into the forest, where he built a small shelter, and they made a life together from nothing. The forest was clean and cool, the air thick with birdsong, the days shaped by simple work. Paṭācārā had grown up surrounded by luxury she didn't choose and couldn't escape. Now she had chosen something, and the choosing itself felt like breathing. "Are you afraid of hardship?" Singhanet asked her once. "Hardship is everywhere," she said. "In the city and in the forest alike. Only a different kind. I would rather face whatever hardship comes with you beside me than face the silk and comfort alone." He looked at her for a long moment. "Then I am the luckiest man who ever served your father." She reached up and touched his face. "Don't call yourself a servant anymore." They were happy, in the uncomplicated way that people are happy when they have chosen their lives and are living them. They had a son and then a daughter, and the family they made in the forest felt more real than any life she had imagined inside the tower. Part 3. The Snake and the River. Then the rains came, hard and unrelenting, the kind of storm that tests the faith of anything made of wood and hope. Paṭācārā had a dream that night. 4 great mountains rolled in from all 4 directions, crushing everything in their path. She stood with Singhanet and their 2 children in the center, nowhere to run. The mountains closed in. She woke with her face wet with tears to find her husband shaking her gently by the shoulder. "You were crying," he said. She told him the dream. He listened. He said what husbands say, "Don't worry. It was only a dream. The storm makes people's minds go strange places. By morning, the rain had not stopped. Singhanat went into the forest to find food, tubers, and fruit. Whatever the wet ground offered, he said he would be back before midday. Midday came and went. The sun slid toward afternoon. Paṭācārā waited as long as she could bear, then lifted her daughter and took her son by the hand and walked into the forest to find him. At the base of a termite mound, she found Singhanat lying where he had fallen. His whole body had gone the color of bruised sky. A snake had found him in the undergrowth, and he had died there alone. In the forest he had chosen for love of her. She stood over him for a long time without moving. Then she prepared the only funeral she could, gathering what could be gathered, doing what could be done with 2 children at her side in the rain. And she turned toward the road back to Sāvatthī, back to her parents, back to the only other people in the world who might know what to do with her grief. The river at flood. They came to the river as Sāvatthī. The rains had swollen it nearly to the top of the banks. The current ran fast and opaque, carrying leaves and debris from the hills upstream. Paṭācārā was not a large woman. She could not carry both children across at once. She thought for a moment, then made the only decision she could. She asked her son, older, steadier, to wait on the near bank. She lifted her daughter and waited in the far bank. She set the girl down, safe and dry on high ground. She waded back. She was midstream when she heard the sound above her, a rush of wings, a shadow crossing the water. She looked up. A hawk dropped from the sky, saw the child on the far bank, and understood only that something small and still was lying in the open. She screamed. She threw her arms wide. She made every sound she could. The son on the near bank heard his mother's voice across the water and thought she was calling to him. He stepped into the current. The river took him. Paṭācārā stood in the middle of the river, with the water moving past her knees, and the hawk banking away over the tree line. She had entered the river with 2 children. She walked out of it alone. Part 5. The Fire in the Road. She walked towards Sāvatthī on numb legs, crying in a way that had gone beyond sound. On the road into the city, she passed a crowd gathered around a burning pyre. She asked a bystander whose pyre it was. The bystander looked at her with the particular gentleness people reserve for those they can already see are broken. It was the pyre of a merchant and his wife. They had died the night before. Their house collapsed under the weight of the storm. The merchant's name, she asked for it. And when he said it, she understood. Her mother, her father gone in the same night that took Singhanat gone, while she was standing in a river trying to save her children. In the span of a single day, she had lost 5 people. She walked away from the pyre without knowing where she was going. She walked through the gates of Sāvatthī. She walked until she found herself standing in the assembly hall of Jetavana Monastery, the great park where the Buddha resided, with no memory of how she had arrived, wearing nothing, covered in mud, speaking words that no longer made sense, even to herself. "Little sister, be still." The hall fell silent as she entered. People stepped back, some looked away. She was a woman without clothing or reason, and the crowd had not seen anything like this before. Then a voice came from the place of honor at the front of the hall. "Little sister, gentle, unhurried, without alarm. Be still, do not grieve so much. You have come to the right place, I am here." It was the teacher. Something in that voice reached her, where nothing else could. She stopped walking. She looked up, and something in her, whatever was still left of the person who had once laughed in a forest and held her children, and watched stars through the branches, that something came back. She found herself on her knees. The crowd moved. Someone placed a cloth around her shoulders. She pulled it tight and simply sat there in the hall, at the feet of the Buddha, not yet able to speak, but no longer running. The teacher looked at her. With the same regard he turned on everyone who came to him, king or beggar, thief or widow, and he began to speak. "Paṭācārā," he said, "this world is full of turbulence. The happiness it offers is thin, barely enough to justify the cost of obtaining it, like a man who digs through rock hoping for a gem that will bring him more trouble than joy. Grief is not strange. It is the price attached to every living thing you love. The Buddha has said, the tears you have shed in grief over lost ones across your long wandering in this existence, those tears are greater in measure than all the water in the ocean. Knowing this, why would you continue to be careless? Those you love cannot protect you when you must go forward alone. Not your husband, not your children, not your parents. Even if they were present, they would be helpless against what waits for all of us. The wisest thing a person can do, knowing this, is to live with great care. To make this life worth something, to build into it as much goodness as can be built, as quickly as it can be built. The way a man whose hair is on fire does not walk calmly toward the water, but runs. Life is short. Every breath takes you one step closer to its end. This is not a tragedy to be mourned. It is a fact to be worked with. When the assembly was finished, Paṭācārā asked to be ordained. The teacher granted it. The water on the ground, under the saffron robe in the community of nuns, Paṭācārā began to breathe again. The grief did not disappear. It rose in her without warning. The smell of rain, the sound of a hawk, the sight of a child running. And each time it rose, she sat with it and did not run. She was a woman of great intelligence. The teachers in the monastery could see it immediately. She learned quickly, retained everything, and asked questions that came from genuine confusion, rather than the desire to impress. She had lived through the worst that ordinary life can offer. She had no more illusions to protect. One evening she poured water from a vessel to wash her feet, as was her habit. She poured once, and the water ran a short distance and stopped. She poured a second time. It ran a little farther. A third time, farther still, then stopped. She sat with the image, Beings die in youth, like the first pour of water. Beings die in middle age, like the second. Beings die in old age, like the third. She sat with what she was seeing, following it inward, watching the way the body and mind rose and fell like water released on ground, appearing for a moment, fully formed, and then gone. The Buddha, seated in the fragrant chamber at the far end of the monastery, knew what she was seeing. He sent his voice across the evening air. The texts say it came to her like a presence, as though he were standing just in front of her. Paṭācārā, exactly. So one day's life of a person who sees the arising and passing of things, that single day is worth more than 100 years lived without seeing it. The thing she had been seeking, without knowing she sought it. The thing that no amount of wealth or love or sorrow had been able to give her, arrived in that moment. She saw it, and in seeing it, she was free. Part 9. The foremost in Vinaya. The texts record that Paṭācārā went on to become one of the most accomplished members of the entire order of nuns, not as a figure of tragedy, but as a teacher of precision and strength. The Buddha named her foremost among the nuns in knowledge of the Vinaya, the full body of monastic discipline and its reasoning. This was not an honorific given lightly. The Vinaya contains hundreds of rules, their origins, their exceptions. The reasoning behind each clause, mastery of it, requires a mind that is simultaneously detailed and principled, capable of both careful logic and decisive judgment. The woman who had fled a palace on impulse, who had survived the forest by instinct, who had lost 5 people in a single day and arrived at Jetavana with nothing. That woman became the standard the entire community referred to when precision was required. She also taught many of the nuns who appear in the Therigatha, the ancient collection of verses by awakened women, are said to have reached liberation under her guidance. She had walked every version of human sorrow. She knew how to sit with people in the middle of theirs. Epilogue on loss as teacher. What the story of Paṭācārā offers is not comfort. It offers something rare, clarity. Her life in the palace, the high rooms, the careful guarding, the life arranged by others for her protection. That was not the problem. Neither was the love she ran toward, or the years in the forest, or the family she built. The problem was the belief that these things could be held. When the river took what it took, and the hawk took what it took, and the snake and the storm took what was left, she did not break because she had loved wrongly. She broke because she had believed, as almost everyone believes, that what we love can be kept. The Buddha did not tell her that her grief was wrong. He did not tell her to feel less. He told her the truth. This is what living in the world costs. It has always cost this, knowing that, not as information, but as something actually seen, changes everything about how one moves through a day. Paṭācārā saw it in a vessel of water poured on the ground. That is how it works, not through grand revelation, but through one ordinary moment in which something true suddenly becomes visible. And visible means visible all the way through, not as a belief, not as a consolation, but as the thing itself. When she saw it, she was free, not free from loss, free from the belief that she could avoid it. That is a different kind of freedom, and it lasts. One who lives 100 years without seeing the arising and passing of things. Better is a single day's life of one who sees the arising and passing of things. Dhammapada, verse 11:3.